Joe, it's mid-season and we're talking teams. Who do we have up next?
We got the Hawthorn Hawks. The Hawks. The Hawthorn Hawks, they are our next team in our mid-season review / report cards. And they were one that it was very hard to look at them with any sort of optimism at the start of the year. But my word, they don't know how to tank to save their lives, mate.
Yeah. It's like rebuild? What rebuild? We're going to be reborn. We're doing so much better. We don't care about number 1 draft picks. We're going to go out there and make sure teams know, hey, we're Hawthorn and we want to win games.
100%. Look at this man. Look at this man on screen. It's hard to think this man wants to lose on purpose. You know what I mean? Like,
great photo.
100%.
Yeah. Why are they so low on the ladder, Joe? If he doesn't want to lose, what's going to happen? They're 16th on the ladder, mate. That's only behind North Melbourne and West Coast.
You guys are
Maybe
no
they
good.
don't want to lose, but they've been losing a lot. The Hawks fans are not going to be happy, but this is the mid-season review. If your team was better, we'd be talking praises instead of talking down. So, sucked in. You guys are 16th on the ladder at the moment. 4 wins, 9 losses with a percentage of 78. So, teams are beating you by a lot. Your wins haven't been that big differential either. So your best game this year from us was the win against Brisbane. What do you reckon, Joe?
I can't believe a North Melbourne fan. What's your ladder position, mate? Huh?
Next week, we're going to go over them. Next time, you can roast North Melbourne. Let's go.
You're here torching the Hawks, and it's just like, mate, they're higher than you. What are you talking about? I can toast them because I'm above them on the ladder. You, mate, on the other hand, I have nothing but praise for the Hawks this year. They have been sensational. This win against Brisbane Lions, it was at the MCG, yes. And we know Brisbane can't win there to save their lives. But still, that was a very impressive win. They outworked Brisbane. Brisbane rocked up and thought they'd get it done. But the Hawks, mate, they came back against the Saints the week before. And then they backed it up with this game. Bravo.
The big thing about the Hawks, yes, at the start of the season, they're a bit of a pushover. But the last few weeks, maybe with their boy Sicily, who we'll talk about in a little bit, has been performing really well. But they're competitive. As we know from Brisbane, if you come out, you think they're going to be a pushover, it's just not going to happen.
100%. And look, the statistics obviously show that they are not a very highly ranked team, especially considering all of the experience and the talent that they culled over the off-season. A lot of talent, O'Meara and Mitchell, for example, top of the list, going to various teams, going to Fremantle and Collingwood, respectively. You got them ranked 16th in terms of metrics, matches up with their ladder position. They're 16th for offense. They've had a lot of key injuries to some very important personnel for them in their forward 50. The defensive rating is 15th, so slightly better. They're 15th in ranking coaches' votes. And the leading goals kicker is Luke Bruce with 24, who is cementing himself as one of the best forwards ever for the Hawks.
Yeah, he's doing really well with Gunston out. He's been stepping up, kicking bags of 3 and 4 in the last couple of weeks. Been pretty impressive to watch.
I think he kicked 400 goals on the weekend. Or was it 500? It was quite a 500. Some milestone. So congratulations to him. But the star, the one that we had on display. We could have spoken about Sicily, but Sicily is an established gun. We already know what he's capable of. But this guy, he is taking that young Hawthorn midfield to the next level. We're going to be talking about him. We're going to be talking about Wardlaw. We're going to be talking about a bunch of these young inside gun mids for a long time. But he is trying to blaze his path from today.
Yeah. Hawks are bringing back the team from the 80s, the way that they're going, the success they've had. This guy's bringing back the haircuts from the 80s. Mate, it's all looking up from here. Rated elite for score involvement, above average for disposals, above average for contested possessions, and above average for clearances. For a player that came through the MSD, they didn't even have to draft him in the national draft. The other team said no thanks. He's been wonderful for them.
He's absolutely gun. He stepped up. They understood that they have to entrust the midfield. You know, the O'Mearas and Mitchells of the world can't keep staying there because they'd be eating into players like him and Will Day. You know, like their sort of development. And John Newcomb has been absolutely relishing and flourishing at that with the extra responsibility. He is up to it. And you can see when he's up and about, the Hawks, they're winning their share of the ball in the middle, and they're pretty dangerous forward of center. So it's been great for the Hawks. They've been tough on their rebuild, and it needed to happen.
Yeah, 100%. Who do we have as their player that needs to perform, Joe? That needs to do better in the second half of the year?
Someone who they recruited, right? Someone that was a very high draft pick.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I think this guy's just been injured. As you can see from the picture, he's pretty skinny, and his stats don't lie. They're pretty skinny too. There is no fat on the bones with this stats. Mate, below average for disposals, for intercepts, for one-on-ones. Can't even take a mark a game. And below average for spoils too. For a guy that was supposed to be touted as, you know, the next big player, Sicily's right-hand man, he's just letting teams walk over him. He might get delisted at the end of the year the way he's going.
Yeah, he's stuck in the VFL. He's struggling to break into the senior side. Kane Corns is now thinking of... I know you're not a big fan of Kano, but he was all in on Denver Granger Barras. He had bought all his stocks, and even he is like, you know what, I think it might be time to start selling. So Denver Granger Barras, I understand he's a young player, and key defenders take some time to fill out, but you need to have a bit more, at least, you know, spoiling doesn't require you to have the strongest of bodies. You know what I mean? So it's a lot about work rate and a lot about effort. So you need to lift DGB. You need to give a beep. All right. Giving them a B-, I reckon, for the year. Some Hawks fans might think it's a bit harsh, but, you know, we reckon it's pretty fair.
Yeah. A team that's been on the rise, obviously. If their win-loss ratio was a lot better, they might be pushing for a B or a B+, but you can't discount the fact they've only had 4 wins. They've beaten some competitive teams. They've lost a lot of games, and they've lost some games that they really shouldn't have as well. We'll really wait and see what the second half of the season unfolds for them. Potentially, they could push into that top 14, top 12 mark if they win a lot more games and losses over the next few weeks.
100%. And that brings our discussion, our mid-season review / report card for the Hawthorn Hawks to a close. I certainly did not have any expectations for them at the start of the year, but I can honestly say I've been blown away, especially recently, in their endeavor and their willingness to take the game on. All I can say is a big well done.
Yeah, for one of those rebuilding teams coming into the season, the players have really bought in, and that's all coming from the coach. If the guy can't coach, if the players don't want to play, you're going to be looking horrible, and fans are not going to be happy. If I was a Hawks supporter, I'd be pretty chuffed with how the team's going so far.
100%. Exactly what you say. Everything is gospel truth, honestly, Big J. And you can ask any Carlton fan if they agree with you or not, because I can guarantee you that they would 100% agree. But we're not here talking about Carlton. I just love to pot shot Carlton every now and then. That was our review of Hawthorn. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please stay tuned for the next one.
Yeah. Remember, guys, here at the Centrebouts, we do the hard work so you don't have to. Bye for now.
Bye for now.